Today, I would like to discuss the rural-urban linkage in Japan by focusing on the rural town of Kamikatsu and its nearby secondary city, Tokushima, in western Japan. In Kamikatsu, with depopulation and the aging community, people had economic struggles but succeeded in reclaiming self-esteem by strengthening the rural-urban linkage through the unique leaf business. The city area of Tokushima also faced the same issues, but the degree was somewhat eased by their benefits as a secondary city. It also fairly prevents citizens from moving into urban areas. Although the upside of these efforts may be limited, these two places articulate the multi-layered factors of the rural-urban relationship. The town of Kamikatsu locates on the mountainside of Tokushima Prefecture in Shikoku Island. The size is 40 square miles, and 90% of its land is forested. The population reached 6,300 in 1950, and it has been declining since then. It is the smallest town in Tokushima Prefecture. Today, the ratio of the elderly, which is over 65 years old, is 53%, while the average of Japan and Tokushima Prefecture are 28% and 33%, respectively. There, 79-year-old Yukio Nishikage is still working every day. She collects and sells leaves and flowers that are used to decorate authentic Japanese dishes in exclusive restaurants. Leaves and flowers entertain the guests by adding seasonality and beauty to the dishes. She enjoys working, and working keeps her healthy and happy. The story of selling leaves goes back to 1986. Tomoji Yokoishi, who is a farming supervisor in Kamikatsu, visited the sushi restaurant and saw a young lady was pleased with the beautiful red maple leaf on a dish. She folded it into her handkerchief to bring it back to her home as a souvenir. Yokoishi was struck with this scene and thought, "We can sell those leaves." At that time, there was no established market for such leaves. Not surprisingly, most people in Kamikatsu ignored his idea, but he finally persuaded 4 farmers and started to sell leaves. Since then, the participating farmers and revenue increased consistently. Today, more than 200 farmers are registered, selling more than 300 seasonal products, and the total annual revenue is approximately $2.5 million. Some farmers even make more than $90,000 per annum. Most of the labor comes from the older adults in the 70s and the highest in the 90s. Now, Kamikatsu dominates the market by selling 80% of decorative leaves in Japan. Behind its success, several theories of rural-urban relationships are found. First, as Tim Unwin emphasizes, it is the people rather than the places who are responsible for creating the flows that exist between the rural and the urban areas. Yokoishi was precisely the figure who shaped the leaf business with his entrepreneurship and enthusiasm. He passionately visited restaurants and markets across Japan to promote their product. Further, Unwin refers to Rondinelli's argument that rural development would not be achieved if the cities are isolated and if the process is entirely through bottom-up strategies. In Kamikatsu, the support from the chefs in the urban areas was essential for success. Since the farmers picked dirty leaves in the beginning, chefs taught the farmers the importance of beauty, size, color, and shape of the leaves, and also the seasonality. With this advice, farmers were able to produce leaves that matched the restaurant's demand, and the sales began to grow. The collaboration between the chefs in the cities and the farmers in Kamikatsu strengthened the rural-urban linkage. Moreover, the ideological linkage, which Tim Unwin represented as one of the urban-rural linkages, would be the most significant linkage strengthened by the leaf business. The leaf business became famous nationwide after they received the Asahi Agriculture Award in 1990. Since then, the leaf business, Yokoishi's leadership, and the vitalization of the elderly became an asset of Kamikatsu. Thousands of people, not only from Japan but also from overseas, now visit Kamikatsu every year to meet them. Additionally, numerous media, both inside and outside Japan, reported the story of Kamikatsu, and it worked as a complementary advertisement of the town, inviting more attention and visitors, and eventually establishing the brand of Kamikatsu as an innovative and progressive rural town fighting against depopulation and aging society. As a ripple effect, people are now much proud of their town, and they began to tackle their issues in a much more constructive manner. The ideological linkage built the brand of Kamikatsu, reinforcing the rural-urban linkage even further. However, even with the success of leaf business, the depopulation and aging did not stop in Kamikatsu. In 1986, when the leaf business started, the population of Kamikatsu was 2,900. Today, the number is only 1,500. In January 2020, 55% of the population was over 65, while it was 23% in 1985. It is the highest ratio in Tokushima Prefecture. Several backgrounds could be pointed out for this worsening situation. First, although the leaf business brought new revenue to the town, it is only 5% of Kamikatsu's GDP. For most farmers, leaves are a supplemental product due to its low price. A standard pack of leaves is sold only at $2 to $3. Second, the town lacked jobs and amenities to stop people from moving out. For example, the town only created about 120 public service jobs in the last 20 years. Besides, only 5 families from outside of Kamikatsu have newly started the leaf business. Also, the town failed to provide essential services such as hospitals, high schools, libraries, supermarkets. The town obviously was incapable of preventing people from leaving, especially the younger generation entering high school. Even though Kamikatsu strengthened their linkage with the urban area by inventing the leaf business, it was not enough to stop the depopulation and aging. However, it does not mean people went to the urban area directly. Data from 1995 to 2018 shows that over 70% who moved out of Kamikatsu remained in Tokushima's prefecture, mostly in Tokushima City, the capital of the prefecture. In addition, while Kamikatsu lost 1/3 of its population from 1999 to 2019, Tokushima City and its nearby town, Kitajima and Aizumi, only lost 2% in total. These data indicate Tokushima City and its nearby town as a secondary city that absorbs the outflow from the rural area. The Tokushima City and its nearby towns appear to provide 2 of the benefits that secondary cities would bring, as Rondinelli claims. First, although not at the same level, Tokushima City area provides both primary and urban amenities that Kamikatsu could not, such as high schools, hospitals, shopping malls, museums, theaters, and even some exclusive restaurants. Citizens can enjoy some of urban life. Indeed, it is not difficult to find a sophisticated cafe in Tokushima City area. And the housing price differs significantly from Kamikatsu to Tokushima and to Osaka and Tokyo. The average real estate price in Tokushima City is about $160,000 for a new house, while it costs $270,000 in Osaka and $500,000 in Tokyo. An old house near Kamikatsu is only $80,000. Reflecting these differences, moving into Tokushima City and its nearby towns instead of Osaka and Tokyo is a realistic decision since the Kamikatsu's GDP per capita is only half of Tokushima City and 1/3 of Tokyo. The urban amenities in Tokushima City area may be sufficient for some, but not enough for others. Those who are not satisfied will pass Tokushima and move directly into the urban areas, although housing may not be affordable. It seems that secondary cities are unescapable from the fact that their amenities are always half-measured and insufficient to avoid certain citizens from moving away. On the other hand, as a case of Kamikatsu and Tokushima implies, it is also true that more people might leave the rural area and secondary cities without their endeavors to strengthen the urban linkages and to provide amenities to attract the population as much as possible. Japan as a nation started to depopulate from 2008 at 128 million and projected to decrease to 97 million by 2050. The ratio of older adults will increase up to 40% by 2050, and 30% of the small towns, including Kamikatsu, are expected to disappear by losing their population. Assuming the depopulation and aging will not be solved anytime soon, the story of Kamikatsu and Tokushima might not be just a rural-urban linkage story, but rather a story that anticipates the future of Japan.